evening and welcome to Cricket Favors everybody with me Ruchika, and today we have a very special guest with us. She is none other than Thanja from the Cricket Queen channel, and I'm sure that all of you are aware of her, have seen her recent video on some platform or the other because it did go viral, which was on India versus South Africa final, and where she was calling out her ex cricketers from her country who tend to do visit our country every now and then. Like ABD would, he was here for the RCB final and everything, but was not. Nobody was here for the final to support the girls, the South African girls, and you rightly called them out. So that video went viral. So I'm sure people are aware of you, who you are. They already know you, and the fact
Hi.
that you love your cricket. And the one thing that I loved about that video, how you said that when you want to describe your love for cricket, you tell people it's like I'm an Indian. So that
Yeah.
is like, yes, that makes sense, a lot of sense, because India cricket, it's like our religion. That's what I
Yeah.
follow. That's my faith. So yes, a lot of people who wanted to talk to you in my live as well. When I told them that I will have you over, they were pretty excited. One in particular is this guy called Cricket Guru, who has not yet joined us. I'm sure he's going to very soon, and he wants a shout out from you as well. All right, so
Okay.
let's start with, first of all, how are you doing?
Uh I'm doing okay. It's been a bit of a crazy week, making that video. I didn't expect it to obviously, I woke up and it's just I think it was on like 9 million or something. I've never made a video, and it's amazing as well that it's about the women's game, which is awesome. It's the biggest video that I've ever made, and it's been crazy. Look, I I didn't make it with that sort of thought in mind at all. I mean, I guess sometimes you just get really passionate about something, and yeah, you just get really honest, and then that sort of thing happens. But it's been a very relaxed week. Yeah. What about you? How are you feeling after the win? Good win there. I'm seeing all of the tattoos that the girls are getting. They went to the minister, the you
Prime
guys
Minister.
also prime minister. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Elated and very glad that all this is happening, because I can see very clearly the future of women cricket, and not just in India. Because actually, a promotion of a sport in India, if people get attracted to it, because of our numbers, the volume, the number of people who watch, that sport itself gets a boost, and not just the Indian part of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
women cricket wasn't as you know didn't have as
Popular.
many eyeballs as men's cricket does. But now,
Yeah.
after this win and people's interest in it, and our uh, the accolades that the girls are getting, and the eyeballs and the attention that the girls are getting, the praises they're getting, it's something which would help, ultimately, it just means more revenue that pours in, and then it gets distributed amongst all boards, so they can actually increase the amount they invest in women cricket across. I'm
Yeah.
talking about not just full member nations like ours, but even associate countries could also develop better teams,
Yeah.
better infrastructure, better process to filter out and get the creme de la creme, playing for your
Look,
country.
I think like you saw what Matali Raj said as well. You look at all of the 300 plus scores.
Yeah.
You look at some of the spin bowling, the fast bowling. Um, I just think the level has risen so much. There's already so much excitement over the WPL auction coming up. I absolutely can't wait to see what's going to happen there. Who's going to go to which team? Who's going to be kept? I think we're already set for the biggest WPL that we've ever had as well coming up. And that's been the
Absolutely.
talk as well in South Africa, is that I feel like people feel like our women have progressed so much, but so now what's the next step, right? Why can't we also have our own league, like the WBBL, like the WPL? That it just feels like the next step. I don't know. What do you think of that? A women's league in South Africa. I think that would be amazing.
Actually, everywhere there is a league, I would love there to be a woman counterpart of it, like WPL, like you said, WBBL. And SA T20 is a fairly new thing anyway. It's only been a couple of years, but it has made its mark. I've heard a lot of good things about the league. And, the first edition itself was much talked about in terms of the quality of cricket and
Yeah.
the competitiveness. It's like all other leagues were actually, so it's like a lot of people are actually saying it's even better than other leagues. So if in comparison to IPL, it's probably number two with not regards
Yeah.
to the money but the quality of
People
cricket.
are saying that. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
good.
so
Yeah.
that, I mean, if that's but I just wonder if you do have that kind of a pool of cricketers like we do in
Mm.
India. In order to make a league, you need at least 6 teams, if not more. So do you think you have that kind
Yeah.
of talent available?
Look, I mean, the CPL, they've also got a women's league as well. And I think, that maybe that tournament is also a bit short. It's shorter than the men's tournament, I think. It can maybe start with something like that. I feel like on the top of my head, I feel like 4 teams, maybe. I mean, the rules could be different as well. It doesn't have to be um, only 4 international players. It could be something like 6 international
Hmm.
players, 5 South Africans, or 6 South Africans,
Yeah,
five
that makes
international
sense.
players.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like just for them to maybe say that, oh, but there isn't a big enough talent pool, I don't think that's reason enough. Because
Mhm.
you can get players from all around the world. For me, I've said this so many times, the 100, for me, the women's game in the 100 is more exciting than the men's. Like, without a doubt. It's so competitive, the 100 women's league. I just feel like we should give it a go. And I think that's also how you develop talent. Like, look, since the WPL, your team has just gone from strength to strength. So these things, they do play a part in creating depth and producing talent.
Absolutely. No, that's actually true. That is true for even IPL. That was the
Yeah.
purpose of IPL, to bring out as much talent as possible. And I'm sure you've seen, like in today's, the T20 game, or the T20 games we had in 24 versus South Africa, and now upcoming, our T20 talent is only growing, and that's because of the IPL, because they're actually called labeled IPL talent. So something of that
Yeah.
sort, of course, WPL is also now going to come through, and yes, leagues do help with that part where you can actually get more talent coming in through those leagues. So yes, for sure. And the idea again is eyeballs. If it gains attention, it gathers eyeballs, then it is a lucrative option for from the business perspective as well. So for sure that makes sense. What you're saying is absolutely right.
Yeah,
You know what?
just for a quick example, when the Women's World Cup was in South Africa, on some of the days we had 2 matches. So there would be a match in the afternoon, and then there would be one in the evening. We
Mhm.
went to a couple of the ones in the afternoon, and it was 60-70%. It was full. So it means that, and also if it's during the summer, people take holiday in the summer. So people will show up. I really truly believe that they will show up in for that. Yeah. But
Yeah,
anyway,
so
let's move
it's
on. Yeah. It's
right.
hopefully we're getting the word out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So now with this victory, with India showing interest in women cricket and giving it as much importance as men's, I'm sure that it'll help other countries also.
Yeah.
Because now you're
100%.
aware, like we know who Laura Wolfhard is, the girl who scared us. We know Cup, we know,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I'm not able to remember,
Nadine
but there are certain names.
Nadine Nadine
Nadine, of
Declerc.
course, Nadine de Klerk, yes, all of these
Yeah.
girls, we now are aware of them. So now when we see them in WPL, we'll be like, even though we might have seen them earlier and not registered, and all, oh, she's the one who gave us the scare. That's the that's how it's going to be. So it's
The
like, again, like I
association.
said, it's good for every. Got a couple of questions coming through which we will take very soon, guys. Aapke questions hum jaldi hi lenge. So in conversation with the cricket queen, and we talked about the final and heartbreak for South Africa for sure, not winning it, but what a fight and what a game.
Yeah. Look, I do feel like what Mandla and Laura, especially with Laura as captain, I just can't see her. This is a big statement, but I don't really care. I just can't see her not winning a trophy for South Africa. I honestly feel that confident, her as a leader. If there's anybody who can do it for us, I honestly truly believe that it's Laura
Yeah,
Wolfi,
for sure.
as we call her. She just has World Cup winner written all over her. You know, she's an
True.
absolute superstar. She's only 26 now. She's already one of the best, not just women's cricketers, but cricketers
Cricketers.
as
Yes,
an overall
absolutely.
already. She's got nerves of steel. My love for her was always very big, but now it's just it's out of the universe. Yeah, so I'm
Till
confident.
the time, I'm
And
telling
we
you.
are proud of them, and you know, I feel like they gained a lot of supporters. I already bought my tickets. They are coming. Ireland is coming to play us in
Okay.
December. I will be sending the word out. I want people to show up. I've got my ticket booked. So excited to see what they do next, definitely. And with the World Cup being in England again, I do think we can be a really big contender in that tournament,
For
especially
sure.
with those conditions, you know.
Yes,
So
those conditions. I was going to say
excited.
that.
Yeah, excited for
That's true.
that.
That's true. Because, us Indians, we like to club them all together. Sena countries, the conditions are similar. You have pace-friendly, bouncy
Mm.
wickets. That's what we generally, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, or your country or England, both sides of the hemisphere, Sena countries are clubbed together, and Sena conditions are, uh,
Yeah.
similar conditions is what we always say. Although there is, of course, a difference in South African and Australian wickets, but I think England is more close to South Africa, if I'm not wrong, right? Because that's the kind of
Yeah, with England, there's like more, you know, it's more swing conditions. So I think India, you guys have a lot of good swing bowlers, men and women. I think the South African women are more swing bowlers than the men, actually. So that's quite exciting. And look, the pitches have also been turning quite a bit in England, especially in the T20 format. Manchester, where Sophie Ecclestone plays for her 100 team, the Manchester Originals. They had a lot of spinners in their team. So I think everything is going to come into play, which is very exciting for sure.
So yes, that's about women cricket, and we did enjoy the World Cup. And the one thing
Yeah,
which
look,
I remember having a
if it was
conversation
going
with
to
you.
be anybody, I'm really happy for India. I've been a big fan of harmanpreet for years now. You know, also somebody who you feel she's deserved a World Cup, and so you know, very happy for her, especially because she has been through it, you know, as a captain of the Indian women's team. So a big moment for her, I think now. And obviously
Yeah,
Jemmy as well, who just came back into the team after being dropped last year. So yeah, no, happy for India. And hopefully in England, let's see if we can get into a final again there.
it's been now. It's like I mean, I see a lot of India versus South Africa finals happening in the future. Also, this was one such final we saw, and then there was
You
the
know,
one
yeah,
T20
there's
final.
always this talk about the big three: Australia, India, England. But I mean, you know, South Africa's been. I think we've been the most consistent team in the last 2 years, 5 finals. So all of these things are good because I mean, I'm not a fan of the whole big three chatter. I absolutely hate it. I feel like it's kind of like it's this like boys club thing, you know, that I
Yeah,
just don't
I know what
like.
you
And
mean.
so I feel it's fantastic that we are knocking on the door of that whole big three sort of like scenario thing that they've got there, and I'm happy, and may it continue, because like I've said before as well, cricket belongs to all of us, you know. It's not good for the sport if it's just about three countries, you know. So
That's for sure. That's for sure.
yeah.
No, we definitely need. I mean, yeah, because being from India, I guess I feel, or rather, we feel a little differently about it. Not really. I mean, because once upon a time we were nowhere in the picture because we were the. It was as we would call it you know uh, the Western countries game,
Yeah.
like all of these were the big players, and then with the IPL and with the fact that we love our cricket so much, the country growing economically, we ended up being the financial
No, yeah. I mean, you guys are the leaders of cricket now. You know, it used to be
that's right.
England back in the day when I was really small. No, you guys are well and truly, you are the leaders of the pack. I think what makes me, and look, right, I mean, your performances are backing it up. My thing is just what I feel like with England, their performances are not really backing it up at the moment.
You're right.
If you
You're
look at their
absolutely
ODI records, I mean, you see, that's kind of like what I'm talking about at the end of the day. But obviously, without England, this sport will die, because they also bring a huge fan base to the game and pride and such. But yeah, it's good. It's good that other teams are. New Zealand as well as another team, World Test Championship winners, the women winning the T20 World Cup. So I think it's just great for the sport that some of the other teams are also,
that's surely. Yeah.
going in an upward curve.
I hope so, because we do see a lot of, like you said, even in South Africa, cricket is not the number one sport. And I guess New Zealand also,
No,
everywhere for
that's
that matter,
that's
Australia, New
that's
Zealand,
why
everywhere.
it makes me angry. Yeah, because I mean, our president, when he was addressing the girls, wishing them luck, he was wearing a football shirt. I
Oh,
mean, it's just
I didn't know
stuff
that.
like, yeah, South Africans, we make jokes out of everything. So obviously it turned into this big joke on Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter, but it's just stuff like that, where I'm just like, our Minister of Sport will show up for football games, he'll show up for the rugby games, but you won't see him. And this was a huge event. That's the thing that surprised me the most, is that it was absolutely huge. It was the biggest Women's World Cup final ever. You can even say this was a bigger final than some of the men's finals. Do you know, just with like the people that were there, the crowd, it was electrifying. I mean, I would have given my left arm to be there, like just to be there in that crowd in the moment. So that just kind of surprises me, that even if they went for selfish reasons, okay, fine. But they didn't go, So yeah, but hopefully it's caused a lot of chatter in the country, and I feel like people are speaking up about it now, and let's hope that something does come from it.
Yeah, let's hope that, because yes, cricket, you and I, we love our cricket and we need it to be the number
Love
one
it.
sport. Yeah, absolutely. And that'll help with the growth of cricket as well. I mean, everything, is synchronized. Everything
We're a
is.
very proud sporting country, South Africa. We, the weekend is coming up. We're playing rugby against France. Everybody is already preparing for it. If you guys want to get into rugby, I would tell you that would be a fantastic game to watch, to get into rugby. It's gonna be hectic. Yeah. So we're a very proud sporting nation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is this guy called Rohan Kale. He is actually kind of agreeing with us. He says, bitter truth, it's still about the big three, but definitely SA is getting there. And
Yeah.
actually, I mean, I
No,
remember
thank
the
you.
two-tier talk also when it was going on, and they were saying that, probably three countries in tier one and the rest of the countries in tier two. That time, I remember South Africa being very vocal and saying, no way, we deserve to be in the
Yeah.
upper tier as well. I don't know if that whole thing is even going to work out
The
now.
thing
Let's
is,
see if it does.
they will never ever do that, because deep down, I think they're quite scared that one of the big three might not qualify for tier one. They might actually be relegated to the what is it? They want a one tier, second tier system. It can happen. You
Yeah,
lose a
that's true.
couple of test matches here, you get a couple of injuries, players are out of form. So then what? So I mean, it's all big talk. I can't see it happening, because just for the fear of what if that actually does happen? You see Australia now as well, a lot of players in their 30s. We don't know exactly what the state of Australian Test cricket is going to be like in the next 3-4 years. They might be going through a dip. Let's say you go through a dip and then you get relegated. So I can't see them ever doing it.
Yeah,
I feel like,
does
yeah.
that. Yeah. But then I guess that also doesn't it kind of tend you to push harder, because there are certain countries who take their places for granted, and I guess I'm talking about Pakistan, to bring it to like the present where South Africa is now playing Pakistan. And lately, whatever we've noticed about that country is that cricket over there is not doing very well, and they're stuck with the stars that they had. They're not, their trajectory is not really upward but downwards, and that's when you start questioning, and as a neutral cricket fan, you would say that a country that is investing more in their cricket deserves a spot in
Yeah.
the probably the if not at least up away from the associate tag and get into the main. We become a main player, and a country that doesn't really bother about its cricket and is not doing anything to improve or get better sides or try to win with better sides. Can get a warning by being put into the associate tier, and then you have to play better cricket in order to come up.
Yeah.
Now, if as you know, I have been talking to you about it. Like right now, we have a Pakistan versus South Africa game happening, and the ODI, the T20 is done and dusted. That South Africa did lose. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
now one ODI also we've already lost, and I don't know what's happening right now in the
I
game.
feel
But
like, yeah, I've got it on the TV here. Naturally, I can't miss it. But we're doing this video during the break. So kudos to us for the perfect timing of doing this video. Look, I made a statement, I think, was it yesterday or the day before, that I think we can win this series. I think today Nandre Berger here's the thing that I know Pakistan fans are angry that we're sending a second or third or whatever it is that they're calling it. Look, in 2-3 years from now, we're trying to get where India is, where India can send 2-3 different teams. The only way you do that is with players getting experiences playing in high pressure situations. Now, you're lucky in this regard that you've got something like the IPL, which means for 2 months, you are actually exposing players to these really hectic environments, which is so good for your cricket, because right there, and as we've seen in your T20 especially, you've got this immense depth. 3-4 teams, I feel, can win a World Cup for you.
right.
And so that's kind of the only place for us to do that is on bilaterals. You see, I think Australia, they also do it quite often because injuries can come. Then who are you going to put in? If you've got a couple of injuries, now all of a sudden you need to put players in that have never played an international game in their lives. And it might be an important event like a World Cup, and then we're completely undercooked. So we need to send, and also we're taking Test cricket seriously now, which people said we didn't do because we're preparing for this big Test match series against India. So as a South African, sometimes I feel like we can't win. Now we're taking Test cricket seriously, and now people are like going on about Pakistan. But for Pakistan, I just feel like there's too many players that they think are all format players, and I just don't think that a lot of those players, a lot of them, I feel, are not all format players. And this is something that the modern game, it's going to show us more and more that less and less players, I feel, can play all 3 formats, because it's just becoming such specialist formats as well, right? Like T20 especially. So I think that's a big issue in Pakistan, and I would just ask them to stick to their current coach, because also changing your coach every 6 months, that's just not good for morale. And sorry, that's my answer. That's why I feel like we're sending a different group. And look, some of these guys are players that can walk into our first team as well, like Nandre Berger, Corbin Bosch, Lungin Gidi plays all 3 formats for us. Luandre Pretorius, he's already the world is on fire. He's a fantastic player playing with Quinton de Kock. So I don't think this team is, George Linder, I'm a big fan of him as well. I feel like people are just a little bit too overdramatic as well, maybe. I feel like there's a lot of great players in this
I'm
team
sure
right
they
now.
are. It's not about South Africa as such, because it's not just you. Everybody else, even when the New Zealand is visiting, especially during the IPL window when the IPL is going on here in India, and most players are there. I mean, I'm talking even other nations. Cricket is halted everywhere else, but of course, because since Pakistani players are not allowed to play IPL, that's the reason why they need to have some cricket happening. And so when they play with the New Zealand, again, a B or C team, a bench strength is sent there, because the main players are playing IPL or resting one of the two. And even if that's not the case, otherwise also, if any big nation, whether it's even England for that matter, especially for ODI and T20s, when they visit Pakistan, it's like usually you see them playing against not such great, not the best, or not the first choice players. You see a bench strength coming. And so it's something which, like I said, I think it's because of the fact that, like you said, they're not all format players, but they just have a very small pool of players. And so they try to plug and play and, recycle, get this one hit instead of that one, and that one was already, he had made, he wasn't performing well, so he was made to sit out, and then the replacement isn't performing well, so you need to replace him back, something like that. They're not able to get better players. So I guess that's the reason why. But then what I guess concerns me is the fact that most of these, even the New Zealand came and then won, even with the bench strength. But
Yeah.
here, certain times, like South Africa lost the series,
Yeah, the
the
T20
T20
series.
series, and now ODI
Yeah.
one is already, So I guess I got the answer I was looking for when you said that, it's not about winning or losing, it's more about developing
Yeah,
the bench.
because if you look at our bilateral record, it's not good. But then, semi-finals, finals, and the thing is that's something Australia does as well. They really put all of their attention, and we know that it works for Australia. So why the hell is it not going to work for anybody else, right? Like, just the main focus is obviously the World Test Championship, which is Test cricket. We value our Test cricket really, really high, even though some people don't think that we do. But yeah, at the end of the day, these bilaterals, they're great, and I love watching them, but they just don't have the same intensity for me sometimes, I feel. I don't know if it's because there's just so much cricket being played that maybe we're just in autopilot when we watch these things. But yeah, because they're so, and the thing is, the IPL window, we can't play cricket at that time in South Africa because it's not the right weather.
Yeah.
Can't play cricket in England because it's before summer. Can't play cricket in Australia. So that's why where everybody's just going to go and play cricket at the IPL then. It's not as if we can play cricket in that time, the SENA countries. The weather is not suited. Yeah.
So that's why the IPL window was was put where it was put.
Yeah.
So that's a done deal for sure. So now you were talking about Berger and you were talking about Linde and all these players. Indian squad for the test against South Africa has been announced. I'm not sure if South African squad, not yet, I guess, or it's coming in.
I think it is announced. It's very similar to the Pakistan.
Yeah, because because like you said, South African cricket is taking the test cricket seriously, so you had the better side going there. So what are you expecting now? I'm going to talk about the series, whether it's T20 or it's one day, you're playing all formats. What do you see? What are the players that you're looking forward to watching playing in these conditions? And what your thoughts are about the series that's coming up?
Look, very interesting. The India versus West Indies series. For me, the most interesting thing was the pitch selections, with the one pitch being incredibly spin friendly, which is pretty much what we faced in Pakistan now. I mean, I've never seen, I don't think any of our players have played in conditions like that ever in their life. And so I think for that, I thought we did really well in Pakistan. If it was a third match, I would put money on us winning the series. I really would, because it takes time, right, to get used to conditions.
Right.
In terms of players to look out for, Temba wasn't playing, which meant that Shukri had to make a couple of shifts in that batting lineup. Now, obviously, Temba comes back in, but so Dezorzi was the one that didn't make the cut for the World Test Championship final. Rickleton was preferred over him. Naturally, you score a 200, you're getting into the team. I mean, obviously.
That's right.
But Dezorzi was absolutely phenomenal in this series, in spinning conditions. Him and Rickleton were actually the two best players, and they're probably the two guys competing for a spot, right? So those two, for me, definitely they're in. Stubbs, I think, saved his position by getting that 70. Obviously Temba is in. Markram, he plays it. I think all of our players have a very different approach to spin, which I think is also very interesting. I don't know. What about the fast bowling? Is there going to be something in it for them? Because then you obviously have Rabada, who bowls well all around the world. Look, I'm excited for all of the players. I felt like Kyle Verreynne, our wicket keeper, he was probably the one guy for me that I felt like he just didn't look too good in those conditions. So a lot of people are saying, drop him, let Stubbs keep wickets. So there's a lot of talk, going on. But I'm excited for all of them. I really love our test team. I love where Shukri has taken the team. And I think it's going to be an exciting challenge against India. especially after India will have a lot of confidence after beating West Indies like that.
I'm
I
thinking
hope,
more from the
I think we're in for a really good, exciting series. Yeah,
I'm sure.
especially how we played spin. I thought we were going to be absolutely clueless against spin in Pakistan, but you know what? We weren't. We were actually pretty okay. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to full crowds. I'm looking forward to a vibe. What about you for India? What do you think? Because it's going to be
Same
a
thing.
big
I'm looking forward
challenge
to
for
it.
Gill as well, right? You know, he's faced Australia recently. He's now he was his first captaincy was against England. That was a hectic series, and now you know he's facing South Africa. So it's big, a lot of big games that's on his plate now that he has to deal with.
Yeah. So, Shubman Gill as a captain, growing still. Anderson Tendulkar Trophy was where we saw him probably evolve a little bit from a completely clueless captain to a somewhat, getting there kind of a thing. And that's why we were able to draw the series. And West Indies was honestly not much of a challenge. But then they did give us a challenge in the
Yeah,
second match, the second innings,
yeah.
when we were
The
expecting.
batting pitch, yeah.
Right. So that's something which we were like, okay, we took them too lightly, maybe. And as far as spin, I was actually very confident that if in the first match, like what happened, South Africa crumbled and everything, and that's how they lost the first match versus Pakistan. Spin was something which they were not very comfortable with, but then in the second match, and I mean, how good was
Maharaj and
they
Rabada.
batted so
What
well. I mean,
do you know how terrible it is for me? Because that was the only part of the game that I wasn't home. I was driving around. I actually went to a freaking shopping center and I sat there on my phone just to watch. Because I've just been hearing, I had a meeting and I go in and I think the score was something ridiculous for 7. And I'm like, oh, we're going to give away like 100 lead here. And I get out of my meeting an hour later and I see it still for 7. And I'm like, okay, something is happening here, So I'm like, I find a shopping center and I just sit down on my phone because it's like an hour's drive back home. And I'm like, I can't watch while I'm driving. I have done that before. I would not recommend it. It's not safe. It's not safe. Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
It's like when I can't even, when I'm on the side see the passenger seat, my husband's like, "You watching a match? You keep quiet." Because if I exclaim or something, you get distracted.
Yeah.
Like, I'm driving, don't do anything, that kind of a thing. So I completely understand while driving, for sure not. But then yeah, that was. I mean, we were like, I couldn't watch it because I didn't have the correct subscription where I would
Yeah.
get that much, but I was on Google the entire time and I'm reading the commentary. And oh, the baby six by Rabada, I still don't know what that was, but baby six by I mean, this all those sixes and fours being hit by the tail enders, it was rather fun. Anyway,
Yeah.
and like I think, yeah, they're showing, they're WTC champions for a reason. You can't just, make a spin track and expect them to fail there. I mean, you tried it, they
And
lost, but then they bounced back.
my favorite part was, look, that commentary box was full of Pakistan legends, right? I mean, you can just imagine Wasim Akram, everybody. My favorite part was the 180 flip in commentary. How it was like, no, South Africa, they're going to give away a big lead here. They really struggle against spin. They can't play against spin. And then literally 2 hours later, they are furious at Pakistan for giving away all of these runs against the tail enders. And the thing is, this is exactly what Kagiso did in South Africa against Pakistan as well, right? So they've got some, Kagiso has been haunting them for a while now, and he did it again. So that was insane for me.
Right. So that was actually
But yeah,
fun.
tell me about, let me just find my, excuse me, guys. I need to just put my charger in here. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose you guys.
No worries. Go ahead.
But in the meantime, tell me about what you think of India and what do you think of the team and what do you think are going to be some challenges for India? Because I think we've got some really good spinners as well, right? I think that's, I was talking to my friend the other day, Abhishek, and he's like, it's going to be interesting what pitches India prepare, because if India goes for a heavy spin deck and South Africa wins the toss, and then you have to bat last. I think we've got some pretty damn good spinners, you know, Maharaj, Simon Harmer, Mutusami with 11 wickets. So it's going to be interesting. India's going to have some things to think about, I think.
Oh, you bet. It's not just that, it's the fact that lately we've been struggling against spin. What happened in the New Zealand series, the entire series, we got nicely whitewashed by them, and it was because
Yeah,
we were
Mitch Santner was amazing. Yeah.
so spin was something which we were not very comfortable against, and yet to see, if we have gained grounds again. Once upon a time, we used to be so good against spin. It was pace that affected us. We worked so hard on the pace factor that we forgot how to play spin. I don't know how it is, but let's see what this new side does. So
Yeah.
yes, in the test, I'm thinking the kind of pitches that they would make should ideally be, because India does have sprint friendly wickets anyway, and in a test match towards the end,
Yeah.
third day, you will see the pitch cracking up, and cracks coming on, and drying up a little bit, and then becoming a more and more spin friendly. So that's something which I'm expecting. But then I would also expect something which is not that, or at least should be batting friendly. So like you said, win the toss and bat first would be ideal. And expect as a defending side, you would expect that you try to limit the runs that the side batting first makes. So I'm looking at a very equal kind of a clash. I'm thinking,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
looking
the
forward to
toss
watching the
plays a
spinners,
huge
and
part. The toss
I'm also
plays a huge
looking forward
part,
to
but I
Hooper
think
because he was
we'll
quite good
will
in
take confidence from losing the toss against Pakistan. Because if you lose the toss, then your first batting innings, if you bat second, it has to be a big one. Otherwise, you are really going to struggle to get those runs.
That's right.
But I'm excited, and if we get to the white ball, like I said, I just hope we see two really good competitive test matches. Look, South Africa, we're one of the few teams, I think, that we've actually won a series in India, but that was ages ago. I don't even know if we've won a test match there in the last 20, 25 years. But I'm talking about, if people know Hansi Cronje, they managed to win a very, albeit small series. I think we only won like 1-0, but it's there. It's happened. Miracles sometimes do happen. But yeah, we will know that we haven't been doing too well in India, and I think that they'll be excited for the challenge to see if we can compete. And the white ball stuff, expect to see our full, as people call it now, I guess, first team, because the World Cup is happening in India, so this is a fantastic opportunity for us to test out our best 11 against what's probably going to be the main contenders for the World Cup, which is India. You guys are obviously
at home.
Obviously going in. You're going in as favorites. I think this Australia series has been very interesting for me to watch, because I've been feeling lately that Australia in this T20 format, it's their weakest format for me, and they were actually quite decent in this format. I feel like they've got a lot of batters who are doing very well at the moment. It's just, for me, the bowling. I'm not always sure, especially when it comes to the spinning, right? Because so they've got Zampa, and then, you know what I mean? Who else are they going to unleash? There's Maxwell as well. But he's also getting old, So you need weapons when you're playing in India. You need a really good spin attack. You need guys who can play well against spin. So yeah, India are definitely the favorites. So it's going to be really fun, I think. I think we're playing 5 games. That's going to be that.
T20s, we tend to make a 5-match series. I mean, look at this one as well. I guess, anyway, T20s probably the future of cricket anyway. So, I mean,
no, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Test cricket is.
No, Test is definitely there. I'm just saying ODI is probably a dying format now. So
look, I feel like T20 is the game that can turn our sport into the number 1 sport in the world, because it's very watchable. It's very accessible.
Exactly.
And we're already number 2. So yeah, all of these purists saying that T20 is good for the game. It's improved the game. All of the other formats, it's improved it quite a bit. So yeah,
you're right. Actually, that's what I like talking about cricket. I mean, you and I, we were talking offline, and it is one thing about cricket is that it's also a mind game. It's not just something that you have a bat in hand and you just try to hit the ball out of park and that's it. No, it's about strategizing. It's about both the it's a thinking game. You need to be thinking on your toes all the time, trying to understand what the bowler is going to ball next and where you're going to place it. The bowler needs to see what the batsman is thinking, get into his psyche, all of that, so, and strategizing. So that's why there's a template in place for ODIs. There's a template in place for tests, the 3 sessions. The ODI also has something like the power play, the middle sessions, and then your the death overs. Now I feel that even T20 has that. Somewhere now it
Yeah.
has developed a template. Especially I think IPL is responsible for it. So depending on the track, how
The
if you're batting
matchups.
first, what you do, if you're bowling first, what you do, all of that, I think there's a template in place now for that also. You need to think again, it's not just about hitting and slogging, it's about thinking and strategizing as well. So that's what
Yeah.
I love about T20 now. And the fact that, as you said, because it's a shorter format and nowadays people don't have that much of time, like shorter attention span. That's why a football game
Yeah.
of 2 hours or a rugby game, action packed is what people like to enjoy. And so T20 gives them that in cricket. So,
Yeah.
that's why I feel that
No,
it's a good.
you're definitely right about the attention span thing. But I have seen a bit of a surge in Test cricket recently. So
Yes.
usually my videos on Instagram, it's the ones who usually perform the best are usually about Test cricket. So that does kind of give me an indication that there's a lot of people out there that loves that format and they're interested in the format. So I mean, yeah, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
But
purest form of
I'm
cricket.
one of those people. I love all 3 formats. I um,
Agree.
yeah, like the previous match, South Africa versus Pakistan, the ODI match, it was a very good game. And we saw now with the Women's World Cup, all of the games in India were bloody exciting. They were very
Yeah.
competitive. The pitches that they created, it was really, really good as well. They don't always get a lot of credit. So yeah, that's how exciting ODI cricket can be. But anyway, Ruchika, if there's some questions, let's take
Yes, let's
some
quickly take some
questions here.
comments because I haven't taken any today. There's one which has been on the screen for too long now. Satvik Bagaria, he's asking, in 26 there is under 19 World Cup, T20 World Cup, Women's T20 World Cup. Can India win all 3 of these? West Indies have won all 3 of these in 2016. Your opinion? I don't think you would want that. At least one of them you would want coming your way.
Yes, so there's the men's game. Like I said, I feel like India are definitely the favorites for their home tournament. Um, just because of how much I look today against Australia. I'm like, and Gambhir sometimes I feel like he digs a hole in India cricket because you've got players like Kuldeep, Chakravarti, Arshdeep Singh, and sometimes these guys are not being selected, and I'm like, okay, if you want to lose, then that's fine. Then just don't pick these people. But if you pick the right people, you are going to be very, very difficult to beat. So I do think that men's one, yes. I need to know where the under 19 World Cup is because I feel like that plays a part. Look, in England, I feel like it's going to be tough because I don't see your girls playing a lot of cricket there, even though they did play really well against England now recently in a series. Look, Australia, they've now lost 2 World Cups. So they are going to go into that freaking World Cup. There's going to be a fire about Australia because they're not used to losing these
That's
many World Cups, the women. So I feel like that one is a bit more unsure for me. But you definitely now, after this, I think you're definitely in a shot with doing it. But like I said, I need my girls to show up in England because I do feel like it's a good opportunity for South Africa because we play a lot of cricket there and I do think those conditions suit us. But the others, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you're right. Rugby League Fanatic, he asks, I have a different opinion from you both. Cricket as a sport, has a very bleak future. Soccer and basketball is going bonkers in summer. Clubs in my suburbs, which is Western Sydney, have gone broke, sadly. I don't know.
Um,
I guess that's more to do with country. That's very country specific, I guess,
look,
because
look.
Australia's
I
got.
think this. I think what a lot of people don't realize, and it's crazy. I just met a lovely family from Melbourne. Her son was playing cricket against one of our elite bishops, is an elite cricket school, and we got talking about this very topic a little bit. Guys, cricket isn't a very popular sport in Australia. It's never been. They're just this damn good without it even being that popular. It's the same in South Africa and New Zealand. South Africa and New Zealand, two best rugby nations in the world. It's those other sports are way, way, way more popular. But yet still these nations, you know, they roll out these players every year. They roll out superstars. So yeah, I mean, I can't, and especially with franchise cricket, I don't see cricket going backwards. I only see it becoming a much bigger. And now with girls as well, girls will watch that World Cup and they'll be like, oh my goodness, I can make a career out of cricket. So
That's
it's
true. That's what I've been saying.
definitely, yeah, it gives me chills actually saying that, because 10 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I don't even think people could have had that thought, right? But now it's real. So I do think the game is growing. And if we have a good men's and women's sort of like collaboration with this game, it really can be the biggest in the world. I really do believe that. But no, it's nothing new for me that cricket isn't popular in Australia. I've been hearing this for years, but yet still, you know, they're this good.
Yeah, I know. Because I mean, just to give a sort of a perspective. So when they won the 23 World Cup, the ODI World Cup, they go home and there is no fanfare, no nothing, just a regular, Pat Cummins has his trophy in his trolley and he's just, strolling around with it. Nobody's really bothered or anything of that
Yeah.
sort. And here in India, when they won the 24 World Cup, the T20 World Cup, when they came back home, the fanfare, the adulations they got, the medals and the victory parade and all of that, and millions of people tuning in, and it was something else. I mean, so like I said, it's very country specific. I mean, how much you love a particular sport. In India, it's all about cricket, and actually, our other sports are probably just quite. I mean, it's like way up there. There's a huge gap between other sports and cricket. That's how much we love our cricket. And like you said, with the women now winning the trophy, it's both sides of the gender that are going to get the attention. So let me just
Yeah,
quickly
which is
see if there's
good.
any other comment that. Uh, hmm, okay. Uh, Deepak has this to say. He says, just like in India, before WPL, BCCI started trial matches with three teams and international players, trailblazers, super moves, etc. Similar should happen with SA20, SA20 if CSA pushes like WPL with three teams. So kind of a
Yeah.
suggestion as to what should happen in SA in order to promote the women's league, like you said.
Yeah, I do agree with this with Deepak. I think this is a very good idea. Nobody is asking CSA to turn it into this huge freaking tournament from the start. You know, start small, baby steps. Because I think, I always say, it's such an opportunity for girls from India, or girls from Australia, England, Bangladesh. You know, it's such an opportunity to get to come and play cricket in another country, especially a country like South Africa, because it's really difficult to play cricket here, you know. So you get this opportunity to play in these conditions. It can only be, yes, of course, you'll make some money, but it can only be better for you as a cricketer, I think. So, yeah, start with 3 teams. Let's get some people in and let's have a couple of marquee matches. Yeah, I definitely think the time for this, I'm going to try and push this very hard in the next year, but I do think the time is now. 100%.
True. I'm just looking, scrolling, and seeing if there's any other comment which I would like you to take. Uh, Okay, so this is interesting. Rahul says, against South Africa, I would rather prepare a good balanced wicket, like more of a flatter wicket, not spin wicket at all. I would rather have a little more confidence on flatter decks against
Yeah,
South Africa.
it's
I guess
funny.
we do have a backside that we can,
It's
rely
funny.
on.
A lot of my friends feel the same, because the thing is, I think what you said earlier, Ruchika, is that against New Zealand, it backfired a little bit, right? So in the back of India's mind, I think they will think, it can backfire, especially if you make a wicket like that and you lose the toss. You know, you could be out for 80. The same can happen to South Africa as well, but the point is it can also happen to you. So if you make a more balanced wicket, I feel like you've got very attacking players. especially somebody like a Rishabh Pant can, he can take the game away in one session. So, yeah, I do get the point here, and I do think that's something that they will be thinking about. Yeah. Which is good
considering the fact that you have a little bit against spins.
With 4 days of cricket. So I think that's also good for the sponsors and everybody, 4 days of cricket at least. So yeah.
Thanja, I think there's something wrong with the mic. It's not very clear. Something wrong with the mic.
Is it my mic? Let me see here quickly. Let me try this again here.
Little bit distorted.
And now?
Not really. I don't know if it's the connection that's a problem or if it's the mic. I don't know. It's a little distorted. Not very clear. That's all. I guess bear with it, guys. I think we should wind up soon. Just looking through comments to see if there's anything else. Devayan, he says there was a time when S. Srishant was indispensable during India's tour of South Africa, which is 2006 to 11. Now Washington Sundar is doing the same whenever we play in Australia. But Srishant was a pacer, and Sundar is. I guess you're talking as with regards to it, what do you call? I think the connection. I hope Tanya's still there. I don't know. Can't see. Let me see if she joins back. Okay, probably needs to join back in. Okay, so what? I guess you're talking about the all-rounder perspective. So I guess you're right about that. Washington is being really good. I mean, how good was he today? Also in the match where it was a spin-friendly track, I would say, a slower track. So अच्छे से हो गया आज के दिन भी हम लोगों ने अच्छे से we gave a nice fight to those guys. So that was quite decent. I hope Tanya is able to join me again. Rahul, I have actually talked about the question that you're putting in now yesterday. मैंने थोड़ा बहुत किया था उसके बारे में, and I was like, I'm very glad that at least we are able to see some kind of an explanation coming through, because पहले तो नहीं आ रहा था. We had so many questions as to what's happening, and I wanted to talk to Thanja about that also, and what she thinks about Gigi and his coachship, and it's his what do you call, plan, and how he आज भी बैटिंग ऑर्डर रिशफल, सुबह ऊपर दुबे आ गया और ये सब क्या चल रहा था, अगेन वही रिशफल करके दुबे did not look very comfortable. All of that we were thinking. I'll just send a message to Thanja. Just give me a minute. Let's see if she's able to join again. Oh. Her battery died. 1 second. Okay, so let's just see. She'll come back. Till that time, I'll take up some of your comments. Okay, where were we? Okay, sir. Test is my number 2 format. Number 1 always ODI. All right, so she's going to join us in 5 minutes. Rohan, yes, we need more tours, and I guess now with the attention तो ऐसा होगा भी, because remember bilaterals चाहे हमारे घर पे हो चाहे बाहर हो, इंडिया की टीम किसी के साथ भी खेलती है. I'm talking about the men's, तो definitely eyeballs आते ही आते हैं, हमारे यहाँ से आते हैं. तो अगर हमें वैसे ही eyeballs हम देंगे women टीम को भी, वैसे ही attention मिलेगी, और वैसे नहीं तो कम से कम proportionately अच्छी eyeballs मिलेंगे, तो फिर हम bilateral जहाँ भी जाके खेलेंगे, BCCI will also find it a lucrative option, तो वो भेजेंगे भी, and we'll get more used to the conditions. And I agree with Cricket Queen when she says that England में जो conditions है उसके हिसाब से, since we have not seen our girls play that much cricket over there, तो expected है कि T20 World Cup जो होने वाला है उसमें they may not be the hot favorites like how we count Australia or how we count even England itself, the women team, because they are the आपको पता ही, इससे पहले सारे वर्ल्ड कप उन्होंने शेयर किए हुए थे, तो उस हिसाब से मुझे लगता है कि इंग्लैंड की टीम और ज्यादा हॉट फेवरेट होगी, लेकिन अगर इंडिया की टीम वहां जाकर उन कंडीशंस में कर पाती है अच्छे से, तो आई सी इट बिकमिंग अ वेरी lucrative option. I mean, very good option for us, for our we could also fight over there and even be hot favorites or contenders to win the World Cup. सो लेट्स सी वहां पे क्या होता है, लेकिन अभी तो हम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड है। पहले उससे तो T20 अपने घर पे है टूर्नामेंट, और उसके लिए जो आजकल चल रहा है ना, मोनिमोर्कल, जैसे कि हमने कल भी बात करी थी, और जैसे अभी यहाँ पे राहुल ने बोला कि केम अप विद इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट एज टू व्हाई अर्शदीप hasn't been picked as much as we would like him to be. वो इसीलिए ना, बिकॉज वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो खेले, बट जैसे उसने बताया कि नहीं, बेंच स्ट्रेंथ को ज्यादा डेवलप कर रहे हैं। सो ही इज आवर प्राइम बॉलर, वी नो दैट ही इज द बेस्ट, ही डू अ गुड जॉब। लेकिन उसका अगर नहीं बाय चांस हुआ तो कौन आएगा, उसको हम ट्राई कर रहे हैं। इसलिए हम लोग ये, चलो आज की डेट में आपके बॉलर्स ने आपको करके दिखा दिया। 165 वाज a decent total thanks to the start we got अभिषेक और गिल आज बहुत अच्छा खेला ना। गिल एक्चुअली शोड टुडे कि किस तरह उसको लिखा गया है कि ऐसी अगर पिच हो तो उसमें जब एंकर रनिंग खेलना है तो उसके लिए बंदा है। सो T20 प्लेयर नहीं है आज, जिस तरह से उसने खेला, चलो एटलीस्ट एक इनिंग्स तो लगा कर दी है उसने। सो कहीं ना कहीं आंसर मिल रहे हैं हमें कि एज टू व्हाई गिल इज देयर, बट ये जो रीशफलिंग को ऑर्डर है कुछ ज्यादा ही हो रहा है आज, जिस तरह से दुबे को भी भेजा गया ऊपर, एंड समझ नहीं आ रहा है यार। everyone is saying that our people are looking uncomfortable, हमारे players uncomfortable लगते हैं when you shuffle the order. तो if that is the case, then isn't it better कि आप अगर आप शफल कर भी रहे हो तो एटलीस्ट 2-3 बारी के लिए वही ऑर्डर ट्राई करो, फिर देन अगेन गो फॉर शफलिंग, सो दैट यू सेटल दैट 1% in one slot or 2-3 slots बिफोर शफलिंग अगेन। अभी उसको पता ही नहीं है कि उसको ओपनर के अलावा बाकी सारे फ्लेक्सिबल, कभी किसी को ऊपर भेजोगे, कभी किसी को स्पिन अटैक करने के लिए हैंडल आपने दुबे को ऊपर भेज दिया, वो अनकंफर्टेबल ही लगा वहां पर। ठीक है, उसने थोड़ी बहुत पार्टनरशिप लगा दी गिल के साथ में, मगर इट वाज नॉट द बेस्ट ऑप्शन, आई डोंट नो। तो ये थोड़ा मुझे अजीब सा लग रहा है, दिस होल शफलिंग इज अ लिटिल इरिटेटिंग, लेकिन एज लॉन्ग एज वी विन तो इट्स फाइन। बट आई थिंक इट्स आवर बॉलर्स, अक्षर बापू आज टुडे ही वाज टू गुड एंड ही रियली हेल्प्ड अस। Devan, I do agree with rugby league guys' comment. Any sport is useless, I think. Unless played by at least 20-25 major countries, there would always be concerns. Cricket has to be way more global in Europe, Pacific, Americas. Yesterday, we were talking about this, Devan, and I actually said that with cricket's entry into Olympics, you will see more and more European nations, more and more Western nations, at least developing a T20 team, because they are very serious about their Olympics and the medals, and they would want a team going to all events, or somebody participating with a singular event, with an individual event, कोई ना कोई उनका representative होना चाहिए. So that's why this cricket also will now come up. You've seen an Italy का team come up, यूरोप से इटली का टीम आपने देखा अब T20 वर्ल्ड कप में खेलने वाला है, ऐसे यू विल हैव मोर पीपल कमिंग इन. सो नाउ अभी तो आ रहा है आपका ये व्हाट यू कॉल लॉस एंजलिस वाला ओलंपिक्स, लेकिन वो तो फर्स्ट है. उसके बाद अभी यहाँ पे देखते हैं जो एग्जिस्टिंग टीम्स हैं, हमें देखा नहीं है फॉर्मूला क्या लगेगा, किस तरह से 6 टीम्स आएंगी, फ्रॉम वन कॉन्टिनेंट आएंगी या क्या होने वाला है, टॉप 6 आएंगी, वो सब अभी देखना है क्या फॉर्मूला लगेगा. लेकिन once that is settled, when it becomes a regular thing, you will see a lot more teams coming in. So the future of cricket that way, at least T20, is pretty bright. Cricket guru, I had Thanja with me. Where were you? Anyway, she's going to be back in 5 minutes. Her battery died. Any other comment? Killa acha khela, yes, actually. Okay, I'll just take next comment. Rugby, you're saying, I agree that Thanja, during my teens, rugby league in winter and cricket in summer if you are from New South Wales. Now, due to proliferation of other sports in summer, it has triggered the decline. Interesting. I think it's also because of the fact that cricket is a game that you play or watch with a lot of patience, because the result doesn't come, in the case of test matches, doesn't come overnight in a few hours time. You need, if you want to see a result come, and that also, if it does come, it doesn't go for a draw, 5 days you need to wait for the result to finally, which team is winning. So you have a lot of patience involved in that game. ODI also, the whole day from morning to evening you are watching the match, and then finally you get a winner. But T20 is quicker, so it's more like your rugby, where there's a lot of action, a lot of adrenaline involved, because you need that adrenaline rush that sports gets to you, because oh my god, your side is losing, oh my god, there, something happened, tables have turned, now your side is winning, that kind of a thing, वो चाहिए. तो वो फिर T20 में ही मिलेगा. So that's how it is. हाय गीतिका, अभी आप बोल रहे हो पिच स्लो हो सकता है, बट ऐसा T20 कंडीशंस बेरली होते हैं कि आज के टाइम में, एंड यू नीड ओपनर जो इंटेंट के साथ खेले. गिल can bat at number 3, not open. I have been saying it. And I have already told you कि मुझे लगता है once Surya is out of the picture after the 26 World Cup, then we might be able to see some change like that. We might see कि Gill goes at Surya's position and then you have Jaiswal opening with Abhishek. लेकिन at the moment, yes, you're right. Intent वाला जो word use होता था ना, that I'm not very fond of the word, but yes, intent is what is required in order to, especially in the power play. Up intent wala game, intent is like fearless batting, wo chahiye. So Gill had a little slow start, cautious, he plays cautiously actually, so that's probably what you are aiming at. Dubey big 2 wickets and off March. तो Dubey slow pacer है भाई, जब वो ऐसी विकेट होती है उस पे लेता ही लेता है, that's why वो इतना effective था even एशिया कप में. So ये वाली जो विकेट थी, it was something which was good with the hard ball. शुरू में आपने देखा कि अच्छे से पिटाई हुई, but after some time when the ball gets a little older, after the power play, you see slow हो रहा है सारा काम, धीरे धीरे चल रहा है. So that is Geetika. I didn't put your comment on highlight, I'm sorry. Is my mic also a problem now? I hope not. Ari, go, don't worry, cricket guru. She's going to be back in 5 minutes. She told me her battery died, so she's charging the phone and coming. Bakwana Nitesh, hi, kaise ho aap? Oh, she's here, cricket guru. 1 second, I'll just.
Yeah, I need to get a new phone. Black Friday is coming.
I was going to say that just now. Black Friday is coming soon.
I'm still on my iPhone 11. It's been treating me so well, but I feel like it's time. If you use your phone so much for content, the battery just
goes for a toss.
It just goes. But anyway, let me get back to what's going on here. My Rugby League winter cricket in summer. It has triggered the decline. Yeah. I think also Australians, they do athletics, they play tennis, a lot of, not so much the women nowadays, but Australia always, a lot of great tennis players. Okay,
so this is the guy who's a big fan of yours, yes.
A shout out to Cricket Guru. How's it going? Yo, ma'am. This ma'am thing, I don't think I can ever get used to it. Is that just like in India as well? Because in South Africa, yeah, actually, I do think people say ma'am a lot, but it's fine, guys.
It's like fine. In India, we tend to offer respect in terms of stature.
Is it like age. A term? Okay. Okay,
yeah, so
I understand.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So for most people, either they call me ma'am or they call me Di, which means elder sister. It's actually Didi, short as Di.
Didi, so I've gotten that a lot, Didi. I've seen that in comments where people call me Didi, so that's good. I feel a part of the culture then. Yeah. Like I did say that. I'm about cricket. I'm like about cricket. I feel the way that Indian people are. It's my favorite sport. A lot of South Africans would say rugby is obviously their favorite sport. Football as well, big. But yeah, for me it's cricket all the way. I don't know if there's any other questions, or am I just
here? We were discussing just the regular things here, like 1 second. Guys, if you have any more questions for Thanja, please go ahead and put it. Okay, Debayan has something to say. Let me put it on the screen. Okay, so he says, is Gerald Coetzee still injured? Missing him from action? That guy has pace, swing, and all the fire to become a star for SA in future.
Yeah, so he's injured again. I'm pretty sure he was going to play in this Pakistan tour. It would have been very good for him to get back into things, but can you believe it? He's injured again. These 150 paces, I don't know what it is with them, but they just don't seem to have longevity. he just keeps getting injured. He had a really good 2023 World Cup in India. I
He
feel
did.
like having a 150 pacer guy makes such a difference. Also, somebody with his kind of, fired up kind of attitude is good for the game. So yeah, unfortunately, he is injured again. Nokia is back and bowling domestically though, so we'll see what's going on there. But I miss having somebody who's like just really, really fast,
Okay, Rahul has been wanting to this comment. Actually, he talked about it a little bit of it, but let's take your opinion also. So he's talking about Morne Morkel, and he made an interesting point on dropping Arshdeep from the first and second T20s. It is to develop other fast bowlers like Harshit Rana and others like Gurnur, Brar, Gurjan. There's so many that are the bench strength right now. So the idea is, I mean, yes, because everybody's been questioning this side, and even Gambhir's decisions on how he reshuffles the batting order, and what he why he drops a player like Arshdeep, who's so good in T20 format, wicket taking attacking bowler, and then you actually replace him. You don't pick him in your side, and then you have Harshit Rana playing in your side. So now Morne Mortal finally came up with an explanation and said that's because we want to develop our bench strength and keep him, for the main events, something like that. Arshdeep. So what do you think about that?
I guess the only thing that I'll say about that is that he was warming the bench in the Champions Trophy as well. So some of the things that I feel like they're also not always in unity with what they say. Like sometimes Morne says something and then Gambhir says this. Look, they seem to be very pro Harshit Rana. They can't fool the public. We can all see that there is a massive amount of favoritism happening there. And I do think he's a very talented player, but think about their reasoning for not picking Arshdeep in Test cricket. It was, he's not fast enough. But then you go and pick Kamboj, who bowled 125 kilometers an hour. So the information is there. We can see it. We can see it happening there. They're picking players ahead of Arshdeep in a lot of the formats. And then the reasons that they said that they didn't want to pick Arshdeep, here we go. It's happening anyway. So, I don't actually know what the hell is going on there. Imagine being a fly on the wall. I do think that Harshit could be quite useful. But you've got Siraj, who I feel he's pretty decent in South Africa. And Arshdeep gives you that left arm. Look how good Nandre Berger was again today here. Guys, there's just something about having a left arm quick in your lineup. It provides you so many options. And it's difficult for batters to be able to face a right arm bowler. And now the next guy is a left arm. That
True.
combination of Bumrah and Arshdeep is it's really unmatched. And for South Africa, having Jansen with Rabada, it's turned us into a real force, I think, in Test cricket. Those two just bowling together, the right and the left arm combo. So I have no idea why Arshdeep wouldn't. And he was benching in the Champions Trophy. So, I don't know.
Actually, I don't know why that is, because like you said, Harshit Rana is being favored so much. There was a joke going around in India for the final, India versus South Africa, that you're going to see Harshit Rana dressed up as a woman come and play for the finals,
I have to say that the people are a bit hectic on him, because it's not entirely all his fault. If somebody tells you can play for India, you're not going to say no. He's obviously going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best. But the thing is, you need experience. You need to walk the steps, take the right steps to then, get to, because you look at other players, how hard they had to work to get into the Indian team. And now players look at this and they're like, oh, okay, I guess you don't actually have to work that hard to get into this team. So there's a lot of dynamics.
The excuse given is that he can bat, and it's not like he's batted every time. Yes, there have been a couple of like the previous one T20 where he had a small cameo to play, but then other than that, I haven't really seen him bat that well also. So actually, that's a very big question that all of us have been asking. Everybody's scratching their heads as to why Harshit Rana and why he can't, why Gautam Gambhir cannot do away with him. What kind of like you
Yeah,
said,
look, my
for the
biggest
world.
issue with Gambhir is that he's just so heavily obsessed with having as many batters as you can.
Which
And so I feel like for South Africa, it worked out against Pakistan, but we didn't go into that test match being like, oh, Maharaj and Rabada are our batters. We choose them because they're bowlers. And so,
yeah,
yeah, they scored those runs and it was fantastic. But I think Australia as well, we're nations that we're very bowling forward, and sometimes I feel like India is very batting forward. And in certain types of conditions, you really want to have all of your, like, look what they did in Australia this morning. Okay, morning for me, afternoon for you guys. Look what they did. That bowling attack absolutely decimated Australia, who a lot of those guys are going to be their first choice batters. So if you have strength in your bowling and just for a minute there, forget about, oh, we need a batting all round, makes a difference. But anyway,
that's true.
from SA, batting
That's
of,
true.
oh, Pretorius, people are watching look, Luandre Pretorius, guys, he's going to be huge. I think he's got a great temperament. He's not somebody who just slogs every ball. He's already quite mature, for somebody who's not even 20. Guys, he's still 19, I think, which is absolutely crazy. Or maybe he's 20 now. I don't know. I think he's still 19. But yeah, very exciting talent, Luandre Pretorius. I'm a big fan of him.
Do you know about the young talent from India? The guy who was sold for some 2 point something crores in IPL, the 14 and now I think going on 15 years old.
Oh,
Vaibhav
Vaibhav
Suryavanshi.
Suryavanshi. Yeah, I remember his name, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. What a name as well. It's a real superstar name as well. Yeah. Now he's also, and I think Luandre is part of the Royals. I think so, because he plays for Pearl Royals. So they need to just take care of their players, because in a few years from now, they are going to have an absolute powerhouse of batting prowess with, you look at those young kids that they've got. Very exciting. Also, both lefties, right? Vaibhav is also
Yes,
a lefty, I
lefty.
think. Yeah. Oof, I love my lefties a lot. Yeah.
They come out of the box. I mean, when you have a left-hander, right-hander combination on the crease, it speaks trouble for the bowling side. But when you have two left-handers as well, it's not that easy. Uh, you know, left hand
Yeah.
right hand combination is always something which they look for. Acha, now one thing that interests me a lot is that the young talent, like you always talk about IPL and how they are together. uh, so this Rajasthan Royals team, like you said, that it's developing its talent. Now I'm thinking, actually, that's got me thinking that means probably that they know that at the moment they may not be the hot favorites to win the tournament, but they're building a team which in a
Mm.
few years' time would be with players like, especially if they retain these players who are
And
now
now the rumor
growing.
of Tristan Stubbs going there. I just don't know
Yeah,
what the
that's the
Delhi.
latest.
I don't know what Delhi is doing, really. I feel like Delhi last season, they bat him way too late. He can come in at number 3, and come in at number 4. And I'm surprised with Kevin Peterson there, because he also says your best batters have to bat for the most overs. So I don't know now, Delhi, the rumor seems like 95% true. So, I mean,
Yeah,
if
no, I
Stubbs is
even I've
also
seen
going
that
to
happen
go
a lot,
to
yes.
the Royals, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy. But anyway.
Guys, don't forget to press the like button and also put in the reaction so that we can increase the watching a little bit. Sometimes it just falls. Okay, Cricket Guru has a question for you. Ma'am, why Klassen taken retirement? He's one of the best hitters from South Africa. Have you talked
Yeah, I
about
mean, I think a lot of people were unhappy with that, just because the 2 World Cups are so close. We've got the one in India, where I feel like South Africa should feel comfortable. A lot of South Africans play a lot of cricket in India, so they would want to give themselves the best chance. He was a big weapon for us. I mean, he's the most destructive batter against spin. So, I mean, yeah, people are still sad about that. We've got Brevis in now, but Silu Andre, for me, he's more mature than Brevis. For me, Brevis, that's going to be his style. And as much as I love that being his style, I just don't see it working enough for a team to win a World Cup. You know, and the thing is, I
Very
know he's a better batter than that. He plays Test cricket. You know, he's a real good. He's got real good skills. He's got a good technique.
That's true.
But
That's true.
that's how you're going to learn. But it's just giving me it's makes me think of England. You know, they play that style of cricket. What's the winning percentage with everybody playing that style of cricket? It's very
Yeah.
low. You think of Harry Brook when he played for the Sunrisers. Everybody was like, wow, what a century. This guy. He made one score. One score isn't going to make your team qualify for the semi-finals. You know, you need consistency. It's a huge thing in cricket. So that's something that Klaasen was very good at. He was very consistent, but he was also very powerful. And look, Dewald Brevis is very young, and I think he's going to be huge, and I love him, but you just want to see a little bit more, just, you know what I mean, right? I'm
Yeah, I know.
struggling to find the word now, but you just want to see, you don't want him to be that type of batter where you're like, oh, here he comes. And then either he smacks like 50 or 15 balls, or, you know what I
All
mean? So, I
those
mean, I
runs.
guess he'll have to learn as he grows older now, because he is the type of player that can win you a World Cup, and that's the type of player that Klaasen was. So
Mm-hmm.
very, very sad for us. Even Gil said that we want to develop Harshit Rana for SA
ODI WC.
and take
Praying
crucial
to
wickets.
heaven for
Actually,
number 8 position to contribute some runs and take crucial wickets. Arshdeep will always be preference choice through. This is something which, like what you said, I feel that if you are looking for a bowler that can bat and you want to go as deep as a number 8 batter, that means you don't have faith in your batting. You don't
yeah,
have faith in your proper, and
that
that's
means you
actually
don't have faith in the top six. Yeah,
true.
that's what I think as well. Um, for many years, you see South Africa and I almost thought there was a wicket. For many years, you see South Africa and Australia. I don't think they had somebody batting at number 8. I feel like number 7 was like your number 5, 6 would be your wicket keeper, and then maybe there's an all rounder or two. But you want 4 out and out specialist bowlers, and then you've got your top 6, you know, specialist batters, and then maybe there's an all rounder or two in there, maybe. But this you know where this crap comes from? It comes from England. And it was this test series that I saw as well with India versus England. And I'm just trying to see, it just feels for me sometimes that Gambhir is trying to follow this England template. And I don't know why. And that's the thing when you inherit a powerhouse world-class team that he did, because he gets a lot of credit, but he inherited one of the best test teams. Remember, you guys made how many finals? 2. You know, you won the World Cup with Dravid. Gambhir inherited a world class team, and now he's trying to think, okay, but I need to have my personality. I need to do things the way that I want to do it. But for me, the way that he's doing things, it's giving a lot of similarities to how England is doing things and what is happening with England cricket. You know, it's not looking good, is it? So you can never take away, I feel, from specialist batters and specialist bowlers, especially because somebody like a Kuldeep, yeah, maybe he can't bat that well, but he can take 4 wickets. And 4 wickets means a hell of a lot more than a guy who concedes 9 runs and scores 20 runs with the bat and then takes 2 wickets. I prefer the guy in the middle, bowling in partnership with like a Akshar Patel. You know, again, bowling partnerships is another thing. So it's stuff that they weigh up, but they feel differently.
Yeah, it's
Gambhir
like
and them.
I feel Bumrah Siraj make a very good partner, and so does Arshdeep and Bumrah. And you're right. I mean, as far as Gambhir's thinking is concerned, it's something which has us across the nation perplexed because I don't know if they're still thinking on the lines of what England is thinking, because England, especially with the test, is all about baseball. Now they're
Yeah,
like, okay, aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. I don't see aggression as such. Even in the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, I was calling it out because there was a time when I felt that we should have just retired. Now I can't remember the test. I think it was the third test which we won. Um, So there was a time when Gill got out, and then we were expecting that they should actually just declare, but they
Yeah.
went on to bat, and we were 6-7 down, and then we lost all our wickets for another 20 runs, and then we won the match by like good 60-70 runs. And I was like, so those 20 runs didn't really matter in the end. But had you declared at the point when Gill got out, it would have sent out a better and more aggressive message to the
Yeah.
opposite team, which you didn't. So I have seen that. I personally feel it's been very defensive mindset that he has. This
Yeah.
approach of 8 batters also is like very defensive, because you're so scared that you will end up, your top order will crumble, as they have been doing in the past. BGT and the series,
Yes, you see, the BGT for me was a very aggressive style of playing. And so that's why I'm very interested to see how England are going to do in Australia now with the Ashes, because
Ashes.
I think I saw with India that if you just want to go and hit the ball and be ultra aggressive, it's not going to work in a place like Australia, right? But what I was talking about more is that you look at that Manchester Test match, probably one of the most boring Test matches, but that was a Test match where you look at the county competition, right? And no results. It's such a
Mhm.
batting friendly deck. Now you still want to go in with 8, 9 batting options. Why did you not just take a risk and play Kuldeep Yadav?
There
Who the hell wants to face Kuldeep Yadav on the end of day 4, day 5? I don't care what the pitch is doing. You do not want to face him in those types of conditions. A little bit of rough in the pitch, bowling foot marks, etc. So there again, just too safe. Are you thinking that your top 6 are not going to make runs on this road?
That's
which
thinking. That
which
is
was
thinking.
Manchester. You need to trust your top 6 and make sure that you've got enough bowlers, enough weapons to get England out. So there was a fantastic opportunity to just do something different, but they didn't do it. You know?
I completely agree. That's what I mean. I felt that aggression. In fact, today, even now, I don't see that aggressive approach today. Yes, even in the T20, you were like, okay, intent. You need to go with the intent. But then today, it was Gill who shone out of all the batters. It was more about
Yeah, he
staying
was
there at
stuck
the
around.
wicket than hitting it out of the park. So I mean, I always say it's depending on conditions. Even in a T20, you need to be as aggressive as possible. But yeah, so I guess it's something which, if you are wondering, the whole world is wondering what it is that probably this Gambhir's vision is. We've had certain choices where some of our favorites like Mohammad Shami, who is at the end of his career, but he's still doing good, especially at the local level, Ranji Trophy, everywhere else. And he was injured, and as I'm sure you would agree with me, that it's the kind of norm in international cricket that when a player is out of the side because of an injury that he sustained during a match, while he was playing, or in a particular tournament, in a particular series, he is always brought back immediately after he's better. So
Yeah.
there is an injury replacement he has. The moment he's better, the injury replacement would go and he would come in. However, we did not see a Shami come back to our side, and now he's been ignored for many series, and it looks like his career, is international career at least, is has already ended.
The past.
So that's what people are wondering, because he was somebody who was very good and is still good in Ranji Trophy. He's performing, he's getting you wickets, and he's sending out a message saying, I'm still here, but then nobody's hearing him. We are preferring a Harshit Rana over him, who is not effective as a bowler yet, and even as a batter we yet to see. And then we don't even want to watch him as a batter. We would rather that our top 6 perform.
Mm,
We don't want him to
yeah.
come and have us. So that's why I guess somewhere, so now we know that the entire world is wondering what Gambhir is up to, because we're not clear on what it is that he's.
Only they know, only the people there know. Listen, Ruchika, I have a meeting that I need to
Yeah,
get
I
to
know.
in
You
five
told me that
minutes. So
we were planning
I'm
half an
gonna,
hour. We ended up with a longer
yeah,
session than
I,
intended.
I'm gonna have to say goodbye to everybody, but we do this soon, with the India South Africa series coming up. So thank you so much for having me, and
We
thank you everybody.
definitely have you over again. Thank you so much, Thanja, for always accepting my request when I asked you to come. And trust me, my crowd definitely loves you, and they were looking forward to this. So we're going to have you again when the series is being played during
Yeah,
in the middle of session one day, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on board with us. Thank you, and have a great day. And I wish South Africa all the best for today's match and the series.
thank you. Yeah, I'm just seeing what's happening here now. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
All right, guys. So that was Tanya, and I hope you had a good time with the conversation we guys had. Rugby, I'll just take your comment. You're saying I've been to South Africa in 2014 summer for the test match with my mates. One of my fondest memories to watch baggy green. Sorry, guess what I discovered? We love tequila. Here's hot whiskey. Very nice. All right. Uh, Rahul is saying they're seeing Harshit Rana's next Jack Kallis. I like Rana though. He's got good potential. Only 23. Arshdeep should always be first choice though. That's true. It's just that we are not seeing if there is potential. Let him perform to his potential. And in the meanwhile, if others are being ignored, तो शायद इसीलिए questions आ रहे हैं. Somewhere we are all questioning गंभीर style. And it's not just us. Now having talked to Tanya, पता चल रहा है कि नहीं भाई खाली हम ही नहीं है, दुनिया भर में ये सब सबको नजर आ रहा है कि भाई कुछ फेवरेटिज्म हो रहा है, कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है. What the hell is happening? ये सबके सब क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं. अरे यार क्रिकेट गुरु आई एम सॉरी बट हम लोग जिस तरह से बात कर रहे थे तो कमेंट्स हमने खास लिए ही नहीं है. जस्ट अ फ्यू, डोंट माइंड. है ना हम लोग. All right, so I guess on that note, let's call it a day, guys. मेरे तरफ से भी what I would do is इस वीडियो से कुछ कुछ एक्सर्स बनाकर इस लाइव से I'll just make some videos as well. So अगर आपने लाइक का बटन प्रेस नहीं करा है तो लाइक कर देना, और सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो do subscribe to the channel for more such cricket content. And I'm going to have Tanya over in future also, especially while India versus South Africa is on. So if there's any other question you need to ask me, fatafat pucho, then I'll just, wind up. Golu, आप क्या पूछ रहे हो? Please go ahead and ask. I'll wait for your question. लगान के भुवन है. Smiling already. Thank you, upgrading skills. Let me see if there's any question that I've missed in the meanwhile. Guru, आपने बोला मैम ओडीआई नहीं, ABD is one of my favorites. But what about his behavior now? यार, I'm glad you have a question मैंने नहीं लिया. Why do you want to talk about Asia Cup with her? Yeah, because I don't want to talk about the political aspect of it. See, many people are calling us out because they don't understand the relationship that we have with Pakistan. तो हम ये नहीं बोल सकते उनको कि आप बताओ कि हम तो पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट है तो आप क्यों उनके फेवर में हो, ऐसा कुछ. वो हमारे आपस की बात है यार, वो हमारा मतलब that's our sentiment. You can't expect others to understand यार. So it's okay. Same is the case with ABD. Kolo, what kind of a question is this, yaar? It's just, we are friends, we talk cricket all the time. ये सब क्या है? Why do you want to know this? क्यों किसी और को भेजना है क्या? जाओ अपने पाकिस्तानी फ्रेंड्स को बोलना है उसको लाने के लिए, क्या करना है? What do you want? I thought you had some cricket related question. प्रकाश आप बोल रहे हो अक्सर पटेल वो सुपर बॉलिंग स्पेल टुडे. यस, आई टॉक्ड अबाउट इट. व्हाट अ नाइस. आज तो शायद थोड़ा सा स्पिन फ्रेंडली विकेट हो गया तो इंडिया को एडवांटेज भी मिल गया, बट बैटिंग ऑर्डर का जो शफलिंग चल रहा है ना वो ज्यादा ही हो रहा है. इट्स लाइक एक्सेस ऑफ एवरीथिंग इज बैड. जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला था कि टू मच ऑफ everything is bad. So if you're just doing this, especially when your batters are not looking comfortable, तो ये shuffling मुझे लग रहा है. I'm not saying कि आप बिल्कुल सबको rigidly एक जगह पे रख दो, पर इतना भी नहीं होना चाहिए flexible कि आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो. So this batting order, you don't want a problem where भाई देखो, आई रिमेंबर रोहित शर्मा इंटेंशन जब उनकी टीम का होता था ना, द्राविड एंड रोहित शर्मा का ये चीज रहता था कि गोइंग इनटू द वर्ल्ड कप दे वुड लाइक टू विन एज मेनी बायलैटरल्स एज पॉसिबल, टू बी अ विनिंग साइड, टू बी अ फॉर्मिडेबल साइड गोइंग इनटू द वर्ल्ड कप. अभी हमारा क्या हो रहा है कि वर्ल्ड कप में जाना है. अच्छा, इससे पहले हम लोग जितना भी ट्राई कर सकते हैं, चाहे हम हार जाए, फालतू के कॉम्बिनेशन ट्राई करते हैं, बैटिंग ऑर्डर रिशफल करते हैं, अलग अलग लोगों को बेंच स्ट्रेंथ को डेवलप करते हैं. हारेंगे कोई बात नहीं, हमारा डेवलप हो रहा है, बट देन वी ऑल गो रस्टी इनटू द वर्ल्ड कप. So I am not liking this approach as such. तो मुझे बहुत ही like Tanya also said कि he is putting his own personality. Gambhir is putting too much of his own personality into the team. He is not going by what the team is. He's trying to make it his team, which is something which I am not very comfortable with. क्योंकि आपको आपकी टीम वालों का पोटेंशियल देख के उसको डेवलप करना है, उसको और उजागर करना है, rather than saying कि नहीं तुमको ऐसा होना है. अभी मुझे नहीं मालूम तुम कैसा पोटेंशियल है तुम्हारा, तुमको ये होना है. हर्षित राणा, ओके यू कैन बैट, ठीक है, मैं किसी और को नहीं खिलाऊंगा, तुझे खिलाऊंगा, एंड यू एंश्योर दैट यू बैट. दैट्स अ बिट टू मच यार. Okay, This constant shuffling of Lucky sir, आप कह रहे हो this constant shuffling of the batting order will cost some players their career. But and form. What about form? Then they'll exactly if they lose their form, they lose their career. अब अगर एक प्लेयर आके बार बार आप उसको reshuffle कर रहे हो and he's not comfortable with the whole reshuffling, so you will end up that player would lose confidence. अगर वो एक दिन नंबर 4 पे आ रहा है नहीं परफॉर्म कर रहा है, एक दिन नंबर 6 पे आ रहा है नहीं परफॉर्म कर रहा है, एक दिन अप द ऑर्डर आ रहा है नहीं परफॉर्म कर रहा है, he will lose confidence in himself ना. So that's why एक जगह पकड़ के कम से कम 2-3 बार तो खिलाओ. अगर आपको रिशफल करना भी है तो 2-3 एक जगह 2-3 बार एक जगह खिलाओ, देन मूव टू अनदर स्पॉट एंड वहां पे 2-3 रोज आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंकिंग, रोज कुछ नया करना, दैट इज अ बिट टू मच. सूर्य का फॉर्म आज थोड़ा सा भी मुझे लगा कि बेटर हो रहा था. बाउंसी विकेट्स पे वो फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत ठीक है. आज तो खैर बाउंसी विकेट भी नहीं था इतना. हैविंग सेड दैट, अगेन यू नीड अ प्रॉपर उसकी फॉर्म अगर वापस लानी है, उसको कॉन्फिडेंस देना है, तो यू नीड टू प्ले हिम एट दैट ऑर्डर ना. नंबर 3 पे उसने इतना अच्छा किया था जो वो वॉश आउट हो गया था मैच उसमें. देन उसके बाद वापस आप उसका रिशफल कर रहे हो ऑर्डर. आपको पता है उस बंदे की फॉर्म नहीं है, थोड़ा स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, अच्छा कर लिया उसने एक मैच में, तो व्हाई व्हाट इज द नीड टू लेट हिम एटलीस्ट अपने फुट तो जमाने दो उसको, फिर उसको रिशफल करो. पता नहीं क्या ही हो रहा है हमारी टीम के साथ में. बट लाइक शी ऑल्सो सेड एंड शी कॉल्ड आउट द चेंजेस इन कोचशिप फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. तो वी कैन नॉट ऑल्सो डू दैट. अब हम अनफॉर्चुनेटली स्टक हैं, लेकिन लाइक आई ऑलवेज से गंभीर नीड्स टू चेंज रादर देन हिम बीइंग चेंज्ड. Plus putting a square. एक मिनट. I just going to take your comment here. Plus putting a square peg in a round hole does not help. So that's the thing. क्या ही बोलूं मैं. This is something which is going on for a very long time. Anyway, एक काम करते हैं, आज का लाइव यहीं पे फिनिश करते हैं. आप वीकेंड है तो I'm going to see you on Sunday. But Ketan might come because he's running very busy nowadays. मुझे नहीं पता उनका क्या सीन है. But जब वो I'm sure कि if it's possible he will come live from my channel. लेकिन otherwise Sunday को मिलते हैं, ठीक है. Sunday we'll have a good discussion on the tournament, क्योंकि तब ये जो सीरीज है खत्म हो जाएगा तब तक. So we'll have a discussion on that. और उसके बाद upcoming जो matches होंगे, India A versus South Africa A, everything we'll talk about. Devani, what do you think? Sanju's confidence is dented. He was never a very consistent player, honestly speaking. But that makes it worse ना. Like you said, कभी pick करो कभी नहीं करो, ऐसे ही होगा, गड़बड़ होगी. So that's what we don't want to have players lose their potential instead of gaining more. Ketan को busy रहने दो. I know he's actually very busy. So the next couple of months I don't see, at least 1.5 months तो ऐसे ही होने वाला है. चलो भाई, on that note, thank you so much everybody. किसी ने like नहीं करा है तो जरूर like button press कर देना, and subscribe नहीं करा है तो वो भी कर देना. Like and subscribe, share with your friends. Today we had a very nice conversation with Thanja, and she's just messaged me that we'll have it again next week also during the series India versus South Africa. So I'll have her over more. So thank you so much guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Have a great day everybody. Bye bye.